Yes. Well, the important question of the day is, why do ducks always laugh at us? Probably because I say lass instead of laugh.
Probably because you can't talk.
Yes. The duck is sitting there going, this is why we didn't invent language. Now I shall start my secret plan to rule the world.
Tell me when you're ready to start recording.
Yeah, I'm ready to start recording. Morning.
We are in Brighouse.
We are definitely in Brighouse.
Rather damp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still.
And there's some talkative ducks nearby who seem to think that I'm really funny. Although it took a while to reach them. Oh, ooh, those ones are having a drag down fight. Okay, well, anyway.
It's pretty nice here. We had a little...
If you're not a duck.
Fuck's sake, I'm going to get really long. It's pretty nice here. We had a little explore yesterday around the town. Got some chips from the chippy.
I found a really nice chippy. It does... They use vegetable oil, so I can eat it. And, yeah, they did it. I mean, it's just a really nice job. Like, it was...
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it's that thing where sometimes, you know, you go to a chippy, they look exactly the same, but you get something that's kind of mealy and mushy and not really very good, which some people might consider to be traditional British chips. But then you go to a place like this, and it's like crispy outside and nice and light, fresh taste. And
you had some mushrooms, which you enjoyed?
Yeah, they were absolutely delightful. Yeah, it was
absolutely delightful.
Well, delightful as far as chippy mushrooms go. It's one of those things where it could be good. It could also mean that you spend the next week in the bathroom. But
there's also a Sainsbury's right here, like that building there is Sainsbury's.
Incoming duck or geese attack.
There's also a little and a Tesco, so it's a good place to stop and stock up.
Yeah.
There's a basin just down there where there's some permanent moorings, and there's more visitor moorings in the pound between the lots.
Oh, okay.
And there's a sanitary station, so it's a good place to stop.
There's plenty of places to stop.
Yeah.
There's food available. There is, you know, fairly large number of supplies and things available. It's just a good location to be.
There's a big-ass climbing wall.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're into climbing walls and apparently escape rooms. There's a big place called Rocked Face, and it looks kind of impressive if you're crazy enough to climb up the outside of a vertical wall. Because I'm not. So to me it looks like pain. But,
yeah. So today I think we're going to try and get as far as Huddersfield, which is 5 locks on the Calder Hebble Navigation. Then at Cooper Bridge we turn onto the Huddersfield Broad Canal, and I think there's 9 locks there.
Yeah. Or we could get onto a bus over here and be there in 7 minutes.
No, it means the bus takes 7 minutes to come.
No, it said 7 minutes travel time.
All right, well, I'll meet you there then.
Okay. Maybe I looked wrong, but it looked like it was like, Huddersfield is actually really close to where we are right now. Really, really close. We're just on the very outskirts of Huddersfield, very short walk away.
Considering it's raining, that feels like a little bit more civilised.
Yeah.
Although it's due to stop raining, so fingers crossed for that.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's definitely raining.
It's raining, it's pouring, the ducks are occasionally snoring. It's time to go.
All right, let's go. So not the nicest mooring we've ever stopped at, but nice enough, and the perfect place to break the journey between Sowerby Bridge and Huddersfield. It's not far to the first lock. Here's the basin above the lock. I believe these private moorings are managed by the Canal and River Trust. We leave the boat in the top lock and walk down to the second lock to get it ready. We need our Calder and Hebble handspike to operate the paddles, and I let Michael do the hard work. Once the second lock's ready and open, we bring the boat down. Going through locks always feels a little more dangerous in the rain, so we try to take extra care when it's wet. After this lock, the navigation drops down to the River Calder for a bit. A quick check to confirm the water's not too high, and the gauge shows us that it's well into the green. These are the anchor pit floodgates which lead to the Kirklees cut. When the river level is high, these gates can be closed to protect the cut from floodwater. That huge bridge ahead carries the M62 motorway over the navigation. Back on the river section there was no towpath, so walkers are diverted via roads. Here along the cut there's a lovely towpath to walk on. The Calder Hebble Navigation runs between the Rochdale Canal at Sowerby Bridge and Wakefield, where it joins the Ayr and Calder Navigation. We're only going as far as Cooper Bridge Junction though, where we'll turn off and head to Huddersfield on the Huddersfield Broad Canal. When we reach Kirklees Top Lock, we meet Narrowboat York from the Sowerby Bridge Hire Base. We first met them 2 days ago, waiting to go down the Chule Deep Lock. It's great that they got to spend some of their holiday exploring the river sections as well as the canal. Michael utilises the boat hook to close the gate behind him to save me walking round to the other side of the lock. This lock has a very short drop, just 4 feet. A few hundred metres along the cut we reach Kirklees Low Lock. This one's a little deeper with a drop of over 9 feet, well, depending on the level of the river below. Both of these locks needed the handspike, but that's the last lock we're passing through on this navigation, so that's the last time we'll need it for a while. It's less than 2 miles to the junction from here. First we pass under this huge stone railway bridge. Here's the junction. Take the left-hand fork and the Calder Hebble Navigation continues to Wakefield through those floodgates. We went that way in October 2019. We were pretty lucky to go through when we did, as the figure of 3 locks got damaged in a storm a few months later, and the route's been blocked ever since. We take the right-hand fork to the Huddersfield Broad Canal. The lock is positioned right next to the weir. Michael drops me off at the lock landing and I find the water's already down, so all I need to do is swing the gate open for him. One thing I remember from doing these locks in 2019 is how short they are. Perseverance is about 57 feet long, and the maximum length of boat that can use these locks is advertised at 57 feet and 6 inches. We found it a tight squeeze going downhill. It should be slightly easier going up the other way, in theory anyway. When I get to the second lock, I find both the top gates have been left open. The issue is that there isn't a bridge to the far side, so I can't walk over and shut them. The bridge that you'd normally use to access the other side is on the top lock gate, so while the gates are open, there's no way of crossing the lock. Michael moors the boat and brings the boat hook up with him. Once we have the towpath gate shut, he can use the hook to pull the other gate closed. I don't end up filming him in action as I was too busy holding the gate shut, so it didn't swing out while he tried to lever the other gate. To add to the fun, there's a pretty strong bywash below a lot of these locks, which will push the boat sideways as it passes. There's a fair bit of weed growth on this canal. It's not the prettiest at the moment. Under the disused railway viaduct, which I think is now used as a cycle path. It's quite a substantial bridge for a bike lane. The Huddersfield Broad Canal is under 4 miles long, and when we reach the town of Huddersfield we'll join the Huddersfield Narrow Canal, and together they become one of the 3 Trans-Pennine routes. This summer we've crossed the Pennines on the Leeds and Liverpool Canal and the Rochdale Canal, and now we're about to cross again on the Huddersfield canals. The Broad Canal was completed in 1776. It preceded the Narrow Canal by about 36 years. Originally its main operation was to help transport cargo between Huddersfield and Wakefield. Unlike the Narrow Canal, which was abandoned in 1944, the Broad Canal has remained open, even transporting coal into the 1950s. Once the Narrow Canal was reopened in 2001, leisure traffic on the Broad Canal has significantly increased. I wonder if goods being transported across the Pennines were unloaded from narrow boats into wide boats where the 2 canals meet. The Narrow Canal can accommodate boats up to 70 feet long, and so presumably many boats would have been far too long to fit in the relatively short locks on the Broad Canal. Under another abandoned railway viaduct. We can see a fair bit of water coming around the bywash as we approach Turnpike Lock, and here's a better view of the bywash in action. All of these locks have had anti-vandal devices fitted, and I can't always get them open. It's for that reason that I end up opening the gate paddle first on this lock. That's a fair bit of water coming into the lock through the sluice. I haven't opened these paddles yet. The gates are just a bit on the leaky side. You can see how little room we have to spare. The bow's right up against the sill. More signs of town life here. We're just a mile or so from the moorings in Huddersfield now. It's been a long day with lots of locks, so George and I decide to ride with Michael until we reach the lift bridge. As we approach Huddersfield, we pass the Canal side refuse incinerator plant. I remember Locomotive lift bridge well from when we passed this way a year ago. It's operated by a combination of wheels, chains and counterweights that lift the deck of the bridge out of the way. Happily, it's operated electronically. That's the last obstacle, now to find a spot to moor in. So we're back in Huddersfield.
Yes, for the first time in a year.
10 months.
10 months? 10 months. Good God, that got right quick.
Yeah. What? Yes.
Too much?
Too much.
Too much. That works. There we go.
We're back in Huddersfield.
We're back in Huddersfield for the first time in 10 months. And
We were last here at the end of October 2019.
yeah, and we were sitting outside of a
Building site.
Yeah, building site where they were assembling some sort of prefab thing, and that prefab thing is now there, and it's making just as much noise, but just as much many things.
I was like, at least it won't be a noisy building site. Instead of it's a noisy warehouse, and they've got all these forklifts that beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
So we moved
sure
up
what
a
he was
bit,
thinking.
and so hopefully it'll be a bit quieter here.
Yeah, and there'll be a lot of interesting time-lapse footage because basically our boat got kind of caught like a sail in the wind. So we had a rope tied on, ish. Wasn't exactly tied on. It was sort of more just sort of sitting in place. You know, like around a old mechanism. And it was like, okay, we could use that to hold the boat in place. But the wind just kept pulling it further out, and the steel thing just kept rotating.
It wasn't helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't windy all day until we got to this mooring.
So it's been a nice day. We came down from
Brighouse.
Yeah, we came down from Brighouse.
Yeah, and the first locks on the Calder Hebble Navigation were all like relatively easy. They were quite nice.
Mm-hmm.
And we turned onto the Huddersfield Broad Canal.
No, our lighting's gone again.
And then we turned onto the Huddersfield Broad Canal, and these locks, they're just a bit short. They're not very deep, so that's one thing in their favour.
Yeah, they're not very deep.
But they're short and they're leaky, and
the hardware tends to be pretty rusty. So
Yeah.
like all of the
and they've all got anti-vandals.
yeah, so all the anti-vandal equipment is highly rusted. So I had to do some. I probably should have taken out the can of WD-40, but instead I just did some sort of brute force breaking of pieces of rust, and got some of them working again. But yeah, it's been.
To be honest, they weren't as bad as I was anticipating. So
No, and they weren't as bad as they weren't as short as I remembered. Like
Well,
when we went down, I think I was struggling with it more.
yeah, because your doors open onto your bow and you try and get out. But
Well, and also it was the first time we'd experienced these locks where we kind of had to go kitty corner.
yeah,
And it was, I think that was our first experience of it. And now we've had quite a large number of locks where we've had to do that. And so we've gotten kind of a little bit more like, oh, okay, I just do this and do that, and then we go out.
but when they are short, it's easier because you just drive straight out because of
Yeah.
the way the door opens.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just been nice, really nice. When we got to the junction, a boat turned up behind us, so we were like, oh good, we'll have someone to share with. Although it would have only worked if they were a bit shorter than us. I think 2 57-foot boats would struggle in these locks.
Yeah. But it turned out there were two boats.
Yeah.
So they're going up together. They've got some kids on there to act as extra crew and everything.
Yeah, so that was a shame, but then at least we were in front of them, not behind them.
Yeah. Part of the reason we keep looking back that way is we're, you know, at least I am looking back to see whether or not they're showing up at the lift bridge there.
It's quite a fascinating lift bridge. You see all the chains going.
Yeah. I saw them last time too.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
There was one guy that was waiting on a bike and he was like, oh, this is the first time I've ever seen this in action. I wish I'd got here earlier.
It's kind of funny coming back into a place like we've been doing new territory, and then we came into Cooper's Junction, and that's it. That's the end of the new territory. It was like, okay, here we are. We are back in a place where we've been before, and suddenly it's kind of like I've got this sensation of weird deja vu.
Yeah,
Like-
and we've got 74 locks and one long tunnel to do
Yeah,
before we get to the peak forest.
which is an even different kind of deja vu. It's like deja vu in reverse. Also, on all of this, we had the squished fish.
Oh,
Poor thing.
George!
It got stuck between, well, I mean, it wasn't us that did it. We opened up the locks, we came in, and we found, well, I guess you'd call it a flounder. Although it wasn't originally a flounder. It had gotten stuck between the lock gates. And I was like, oh my God, that's sad.
And Michael nicknamed him Squish, which made it even sadder.
Yeah, well, because I'm not sure what it, yeah, and then I made the joke. Yeah, I felt like I had to. Towards the end, he got very depressed.
And then at the next lock, he nearly squashed some ducks, but they wouldn't be able to be called Squish. So I came up with the name, what did I say?
I can't remember.
Flattened. No, you said flat.
You were going for flattened something. I went with flat pack quack.
Oh no, I
pack.
said splattered quackers.
Yeah, splattered crackers. Splattered crackers wasn't bad. I came up with flat pack quack pack. Flat pack quack quack.
which, you know,
Made me laugh.
yeah. It's amazing some of the stuff that makes us laugh. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
We're
We're
about
back.
5 hours today, back in Huddersfield. Going to have a few days here because we just passed straight through last time. So.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is there's the moorings here that are provided by, what's it, Appley Bridge? Or Aspley?
Yeah, the marina.
It says it on the wall over there. The Aspley. There's some moorings provided by Aspley Marina that they allow you to go on for 72 hours without
So
charge.
we might have 72 hours.
So, yeah, it's kind of nice.
And we can see the Pennines again, and there's a tower up there, so
We're not going to walk up there.
I'm contemplating making my walk up.
We're not going to walk up there.
Not today.
My feet are killing me too much.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So, that's it for today. We've gotten here. We're off the new territory. By the time you see this, we'll...
God knows where it will be.
Yeah, probably Germany. Anyway, we're going to give Jo a little bit of time to edit. She stepped down. She's a lot shorter at this point. So thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe to Minimalist Maximal Velocity if you want to get time lapses to get caught up eventually, probably in about a year and a half. And something. Click that bell if you want to get notifications.
When we reach Kirklees top lot, we reach
Ba-dunk, 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 ba-dunk. It's recording. Is that recording? Yes,
Yeah.
that's recording. Oh, I smell like so many different things.
You're quite grubby too. You're really grubby. What is that?
Most of that's just mud. George? I think it's mud. Getting in the way. George, are you marking territory? George is marking territory.
Whenever he sees another dog, he's like, I must pee.
Yeah, and then he sniffs, and the other dog pees, and then George pees, and then the other dog pees, and they basically just go into a circle of
They have
peeing
a
on the same
Pissing
location.
contest, basically.
Yeah. Yes, you now know everything you need to know
On the
about
boat.
Mickey. On the boat.
On the boat.
Come on.
On the boat. Good boy.
What a good doggy.
Come on.
Come on.
Good boy.
Yes.
Oh, that doesn't
High
happen
quality
often.
pooch.